Yo bums, welcome back to the Sportsbumz podcast with Alex and Cody.
Yo bums, on today's podcast, me and Cody will make our NBA mock draft 1.0. What we did is use Tankathon, which did the lottery for us based on the team's current standings. So you will see teams like the Hornets jump up and you will see teams like the Warriors drop down. We will also make a mock draft 2.0 after the lottery, but that's all the way in October when the season's over. Anyways, enjoy today's pod, bums. Alright, so now to start off the mock draft. The number one pick, the Hornets, who went up 7 spots in the lottery odds we did. I have the Hornets taking Melo. I think it's a pretty easy pick for the Hornets, to be honest, because there's only 2 guys you can take on the top of the board, which is Melo and Anthony Edwards. And when you look at the Hornets roster, all their guards want to shoot the ball. So you need someone to pass the ball since all the guards play like the freaking idol, the team owner Jordan. They all just huck shots. Freaking Malik Monk don't pass. Terry Rozier definitely don't pass. And Devontae Graham don't pass either. So Melo's a beautiful plug and play at the point guard. He can play make, he can shoot, he can do everything. He kind of reminds me of he's an upgraded Spencer Dinwiddie in my opinion. He has the playmaking of Trae Young, but with
underrated Melo, bro.
Dude,
big underrated on Melo.
Dinwiddie's an all-star in the East, bro, and I'm saying he's a better Dinwiddie with playmaking. So that means he's just gonna be like a all-star every year type player, dude. How's that underrating Melo, bro? That's literally like a perfect comparison, bro. You're gonna probably compare him to like freaking like Luka Doncic or something, bro. He ain't
No, not at all. But I have a different person going number one because, like you said, the Hornets have all those guards, so they're gonna take one of the best players in the draft. And I know you really don't like him, but I have the Hornets taking James Wiseman because they need a big man.
Bro.
They have no big man, best big man on the board. They need a center. He's a good fit for them because like you said, they already have all the guards there with Devontae Graham, Malik Monk, Terry Rozier, so they're going to take James Wiseman with the number one pick.
Oh my God. Hell no, dude. James Wiseman, bro? Dude, he's a track and field basketball player. All he does is run and dunk. I ain't taking a run and dunk player with the number one pick, bro. This is JaVale McGee 2.0. He has a low motor, can't really shoot that well. He's played 3 games in the past year.
You've seen him working out. He been working out the whole time. He been doing what Nick Bosa did in the NFL.
Bro, I've been working out 2 days the past 2 weeks. Am I going to the NBA? No, dude. You gotta play games. Dude, come on, dude. Dude, we're not taking a guy who literally just runs and dunks and plays. Yeah, he plays defense, but his skill set is not a number one player. Once and again, for some reason, we're taking centers in the top 5. Unless if they're like an elite talented center, why would you take a center number 1? Like, dude, come on, man.
They have no centers. They need a center, and it's the best big man in the draft. They're filling a need.
Oh. When the Hornets roster is so trash, you take best player available. You don't.
He is one of the best. He's not the best player available, but he is one of them.
He's not even the best center this year, dude.
Bro,
get out of
here, captain.
Dude, all he has is that little weak jump hook he has. He doesn't have no post moves either. He has low motor too, bro. This is at his peak. He might be Hassan Whiteside. He's not.
No.
Dude.
Oh my God, bro.
This is JaVale McGee, Willie Cauley-Stein type. This is not,
Bruh.
You're not getting Kareem out here. You're getting JaVale McGee, dude. Come on, man.
Bro, come on, bro.
I never heard someone who could sit out a year and still go number 1, bro. Like, what reasoning is that? We reward players for sitting out and getting a number 1. Like, bro, come on, get out of here. All right, so going to number 2 since Cody don't know basketball. They take the other guy that you can take with the number 2 pick, the Timberwolves, who actually move up 1 spot. They take Anthony Edwards. I think it's a beautiful fit. They got D'Lo at the 1, Anthony Edwards at the 2. And they got Malik Beasley off the bench who can score as well. That's a beautiful backcourt. That's the backcourt of the future. I do have worries with the defense on that team, especially with D'Lo and Cat being horrendous defenders, but you got to take the best player available, and Melo and Anthony Edwards are clearly the 2 best players, so they have to take Anthony Edwards no matter what.
Yeah, I got the same pick. I got the Timberwolves taking Anthony Edwards. They get the backcourt duo with D'Lo too, and then they have Jarrett Culver coming up in his sophomore year playing there too, and then it's just a good pick for them. It's a good fit. It just works for everyone.
Yeah, facts. All right, so at 3rd we have the Warriors, who fell down 2 spots in our lottery. I have them taking the Big O, Onyeka Okongwu, the best center in the draft. He reminds me a lot of Bam Adebayo, athletic, but what? He's not as good of a playmaker as Bam Adebayo is, but he is way better. He has way better post moves than Bam coming out of college. I think the Warriors do need a center, but we did this draft with no trades. But in reality, I do think the Warriors will trade the pick because they're trying to win now. So I do actually think they'll trade the pick, like in the real draft. But in this case, I have them taking Onyeka Okongwu because they kind of do need a center. They can't be starting Marquise Chris as center.
Yeah, I went a different way. I see them trying to still go small ball, so I have the Warriors taking Obi Toppin. He's almost the same size as Big O. Big O's an undersized center. Him and Obi Toppin are about the same size. Obi Toppin's a better shooter, way more athletic. They're looking to run and gun out in Golden State. That's what they did in the past. They'll keep doing it. Obi can shoot better than Onyeka, so I feel like it's a better fit, and they take Obi Toppin at number 3.
Yeah, but I feel like Draymond's not he's not the rim protector he was like a couple years ago. So like Onyeka will bring some sort of rim presence because
but Obi can do that too.
No, he's not a good rim protector. He's an okay defender. He's not a great defender, in my opinion.
I don't know. Not from what I saw, but.
So at number 4, Atlanta has the pick, and I have them taking Isaac Okoro.
I think he's so overrated.
I think it's kind of high, but look at Atlanta. They have Trae Young and John Collins. They're great up-and-coming players, but here's the thing. They're probably the 2 worst defenders in the NBA. So they need to get some sort of defense, and Okoro is the best on-ball defender in the draft. They need defense. They have Hunter, but they still need more defenders because Trae Young can't even guard me, bro. He can't even guard nobody. Trae Young, do you see that in that little rec league game in OKC a couple weeks? He was getting torched by literally Walmart workers, bro. Come on, man. They need some defenders on that team. So, I mean, there is other guys that do fit Atlanta's system in terms of how they want to play, but I do think they need some defenders on the team.
See, I have the Hawks taking the best player in the draft. I don't know how he falls, but this is just where the team needs. I have the Hawks taking the last Ball brother, the best one, Lamelo Ball, number 4. Steal of the draft at 4 because they need another running mate alongside with Trae Young. He's 6'7", so he can play the 2. They can share the ball. Trae Young's undersized, so it works out. Lamelo's 6'7". They're both really good passers. I think Lamelo's shot is very underrated. And he also plays good defense, so he can play up there with Trae Young, try to compensate for what he does. And then you throw him in with DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, and Clint Capella. That's a pretty good starting 5 with Kevin Huerter coming off the bench. That's a great fit.
Yeah, Melo. If Atlanta had to pick, if Melo was on the board, they definitely take Melo. But if you think Melo's that good, why would you have him going in the top 1 or 2? Because he's clearly a better talent than Wiseman and Toppin. It's clear he's the better talent. And shouldn't they just go back?
Team needs because the Warriors have a bunch of guards, and the Timberwolves aren't really looking for. You could have went either way with the Timberwolves, but I feel like the Timberwolves see D'Lo as a point guard, and they don't want him off the ball. So that's why I had them taking Anthony Edwards. So that's why I see the Hawks taking LaMelo because you could switch either Anthony Edwards and LaMelo. Both would be a good fit on both teams. But I feel like the Timberwolves have D'Lo as their point guard that's set in stone, so they needed a 2, so they took Anthony Edwards. And down in Atlanta, Lloyd Pierce might get fired, so a new coach can come in. But
no, he's a good coach.
LaMelo's tall enough to where he can run the 2, so I feel like it works out. It's just going based off of team needs because the Hornets have guards and the Warriors do too. So.
See, I clearly disagree because Melo and Anthony Edwards are such disparity in talent that they have to go 1 and 2. There's no way either of them falls past 2. Guaranteed. No chance. Alright, so now we got at number 5, we got the Cavs at pick 5. The Cavs could really use anything. They can use every position. But I've been taking Obi Toppin. I've been taking Obi Toppin because I think Kevin Love's going to get traded this offseason because I think he has 1 or 2 years left on his deal and he has a big contract. I do think a team like the Blazers might take him. With Obi Toppin, I think it's a good fit. He reminds me of John Collins. He can shoot it a bit. He's a good play next to Andre Drummond, who I think will get an extension with the Cavs. He's a great piece with all the point guards they got with Garland and Sexton. They can throw him lobs, and in the pick and roll, it'd be a really good fit with the Cavs.
I like that, but I had Obi going earlier. I mean, I have the Cavs taking Big O and playing him at the 4 instead of the 5 because he is an undersized center, so they throw him at the 4 next to Drummond. And I feel like they do move him to the 5 after the 1 year because I feel like Drummond wants to get out of Cleveland and go play for a winning team. So I feel like Drummond does leave and they slide him over to the 5. But for the 1 year he is playing the 4, with Big O's playing the 4 with Colin Sexton and Garland giving him the ball all the time. He can space the floor, so I feel like it's a good fit for the Cavs because they need everything except guards.
Yeah. And I forgot about Kevin Porter. He's going to be a star, guys. Bro, he can score the rock. Anyways, at number 6, I have Detroit taking Tyrese Halliburton. I think this is actually a really good fit for the short term and the long term because Detroit is probably, they have the worst future out of every team in the league. They have Blake Griffin on a big contract. They have a lack of young talent. The only young talent they really have is maybe Sekou Doumbouya, maybe Luke Kennard. Like, they're all suspect. Maybe Christian Wood. With Tyrese Halliburton, he's a good fit because you could build him as your future point guard, and he can also play the 2, so you could play him with Derrick Rose as well. He reminds me a lot of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in terms of he's silky smooth, can shoot it, can play make. He's not going to be a 25 or even 22 point per game guy, but he's going to be ultra effective, especially playmaking and creating shots for other people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the fit there. I have him going a little bit later, but I feel like the Pistons need pretty much anything, and since they took Sekou Doumbouya last year, I feel like they go overseas again, and I feel like they take Danny Avdija at 6. I feel like they go for it again. Danny Avdija is small forward that can shoot it. He's tall for the position, big enough to play power forward. I mean, I feel like the Pistons need almost anything, and I feel like they might try to trade Blake, see if they can dump his contract on anyone so Danny Avdija can slide in.
Yeah, that's not horrible, but I think Tyrese is a better fit. And next, we have New York. New York is in an interesting situation. I have them taking Killian Hayes because they need a point guard. And I think with Killian Hayes, it's a better fit than all the other point guards they need. Because, like, New York needs a point guard. With Dennis Smith and Elfrid Payton as your future point, like, those are not point guard options.
They're just rentals. They're on Elfrid Payton's on a team option, so he might be gone.
Yeah, and I feel like Killian Hayes here is a better fit than Cole Anthony because when you have Cole Anthony and RJ Barrett, both of them are not passing, so it's like I feel like Killian Hayes is a little better fit at point guard. So Killian Hayes, I haven't watched much, like I haven't watched any games, but I've seen a bit of his highlights. He is pretty smooth. He's like every smooth lefty we've seen. I don't think he shoot that well, but reminds me of like a Brandon Jennings type, you know, silky smooth. I don't think he has D-low potential, but I haven't seen enough, so.
I feel like you're forgetting about a point guard, another point guard that did go overseas. I have the Knicks going for the big names in New York. They take R.J. Hampton at number 7 instead of Killian Hayes. I have Killian Hayes actually going a lot later. So I see the Knicks going for the big name. He did pretty well in Australia. I mean, he was kind of
in Australia.
Okay, the stats are skewed, but I mean, he did have a few really good games in Australia, and I feel like the Knicks go for the big name. It may not be the best fit, but they go for the bigger name in R.J. Hampton because it's New York.
See, I don't like R.J. Hampton there because I don't think R.J. Hampton's a point guard in the NBA. I think he's more of a shooting guard who can play the point, but he's not a true point guard he can't run an offense like that, especially in the half court. He's more of a up and down transition type of point guard, I guess. But
that's where the NBA is transitioning, though. The NBA transitioning into a running gun league.
Yeah, but you already have Barrett who can already kind of play the point guard spot a little, like once in a while. So I feel like that's almost like kind of like a redundant asset in terms of like them already having Barrett, you know, so.
Maybe, but.
Alright, so at pick 8, Chicago Bulls, they take the next Michael Jordan, Danny Avdija. I think he's a good fit here because Danny Avdija is almost like a point forward type. He's almost like a Hedo Turkoglu where he could bring the ball once in a while.
Bro, you gotta stop comparing everyone to Hedo, bro.
Is that not a good comparison? He could play the point and he could shoot a bit. He could drive even though he's not crazy athletic. Like, I don't think that's a good comparison, but.
I don't really have a comparison for him, but I mean, for me, at number 8 for the Bulls, I see them taking Precious Achiuwa and sliding him over to the 3, replacing Otto Porter so they can still start Markkanen and Wendell Carter. So I see the Bulls taking Precious at 8 and sliding him over to the small forward.
Dude, Precious 2 cannot play small forward. He's a power forward. He's too clunky with the basketball, bro. He can't catch and shoot. He's a power forward. I think he's a good power forward in the NBA. Just an athletic 4 that could play defense, but he cannot play the 3, dude.
I mean, Chicago always butchers the draft, too, so I mean, it may not. I think it's an okay fit.
I mean, I think it's iffy, but at pick 9, I have the Wizards reaching and taking Aaron Nesmith because for them saying they want to keep Bradley Beal long term, that means they want to win now. And with John Wall's contract, you're not trading that. So now you're trying to win now, right? So I think you're going to lose Bertans in free agency because he's going to get massively overpaid. So you need another shooter to fill the 3 spot along with Hachimura at the 4. So you need a shooter, and Aaron Nesmith is the best catch and shoot 3-point shooter in the draft. So he's a plug and play at small forward. He's not really athletic, not the best defender, but shooting is always needed, and he can catch and shoot really well. So
yeah, I mean, I don't mind the pick, but for me at the Wizards at 9, I have Isaac Okoro because I think Okoro is really overrated. So I feel like the Wizards do need a small forward. So I feel like it's a good plug and play with John Wall and Bradley Beal to get a good on-ball defender with him because Beal's an okay defender. Wall used to be a good defender, but we don't know what Wall will be with all the surgeries he's had. So you get a good on-ball defender, kind of a 3-and-D guy, kind of like DeAndre Hunter last year. But I think he is really overrated. I don't think he's a top 5 pick, so I have the Wizards taking him at 9.
Yeah, that's not bad. I just don't have a curl falling that low. Okay, with pick 10, I have the Suns taking Cole Anthony. With the Suns, they need a scorer off the bench besides Devin Booker. They have a bunch of playmakers at the 1 and the 2 at that spot. They have Ricky Rubio and Ty Jerome, both more playmakers and spot-up shooters rather than actual guys who could just go get a bucket. With Cole Anthony, I feel like he's the most over-criticized player in the draft. People criticize him for being selfish, don't like to pass, but you gotta look at dude, look how many players that have succeeded that have that skill set but don't want to pass. Think about, he reminds me of a lot of guys like Baron Davis and Gilbert Arenas who just want to score every time, and they're hyper athletic. They could really shoot it, and I think it's a great fit with the Suns, especially as a scorer off the bench when Devin Booker comes off court.
See, I see the Suns going point guard because I don't think they really like Ricky Rubio as much as they do, and I think Ty Jerome's really overrated. So I have the Suns taking Halliburton at 10 because I see him falling to 10. So I have the Suns picking Halliburton up at 10. Guy that can get the ball to Booker and Ayton all game long, play good on-ball defense. I feel like it's a really good fit.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick. I just don't have him falling that low. So I pick 11, the Spurs. I have them taking James Wiseman.
What? Oh my God, bro.
I bet you James Wiseman will fall. He's going to fall in the draft, bro. He hasn't played 3 games. Nobody has any tape on him. Bro, there's not going to be any training with all the COVID stuff going on, as the draft is literally a week after the season's over. He's going to fall, trust. And with the Spurs, I think Spurs are in full rebuild mode. They have hella guards and hella fours that they've drafted in previous year. They kind of do need a younger big because they took Keldon Johnson. They have a multitude of point guards with Forbes, Eric Murray, Derek White. They have plenty of guards. They don't really need that. So I just have them taking a big that could just run and dunk because I think they're going to trade LaMarcus this offseason because I think they're going to start tanking. Because, Pop's getting old and it's kind of in the end of the era for the Spurs.
I went the traditional Spurs route. I saw this one of the higher ranked foreign prospects. I don't even know if I'm going to say his name right, but Aleksej Pokusevski.
Bro,
the reason I picked that is because the Spurs, look at what the Spurs did last year. They reached on Smaligic or some other dude out of nowhere. Samanic. Lucas Samanic. They absolutely reached on him. Now, granted, they traded him, but they still reached on him. I see the Spurs doing what the Spurs always do, going foreign and just taking another foreign overseas player. I don't even know who he is, but I just see that, we said the same thing last year about the one. He's a power forward. He can replace LaMarcus. He can play the center too. He's 7 feet. So, I just see the Spurs going foreign like they always do.
Dude, nobody taking this Randy Dandy in the lottery.
If anyone's going to do it, it's the Spurs. The Spurs will do it.
No chance, bro. At 12, King's going to take Precious Chua. They need a power forward with
They got Marvin Bagley, bro.
Dude, they're going to move Bagley to the 5. Holmes is not the answer at center. They're going to move Bagley to the 5. Achua at the 4. The Bielitsa will start next year, but Achua will come in the next few years. If he can really work on his 3-pointer, he could be a really solid player in the NBA. I think it's a solid fit, especially with all the shooters they have at guard, which shooting is really not a big need. They just need more athleticism, to be honest.
See, I don't mind it, but I have Precious going earlier. I see the Kings, there's problems with the coach and Buddy Hield, so I feel like because they won't even start Buddy Hield. So I feel like they move off Buddy Hield and they bring in Tyrese Maxey from Kentucky to play the shooting guard to replace Buddy Hield. Because I feel like pair him with De'Aaron Fox, it's a Kentucky backcourt. They both like to run and gun. Maxi's a really good shooter. De'Aaron Fox likes to attack the rim, so it's a good combo. Fox is a good on-ball defender, so it makes up for Maxi's lack of defense, but I feel like it's a good fit in Sacramento because I feel like they do trade Buddy Hield in the offseason. And Bogdanovic does want to leave too, even though they would start him. So I feel like Maxey slides in really great to the 2 spot.
Yeah, that's not bad. Speaking of Maxey, I have the Pelicans next up at 13, taking actually Tyrese Maxey. I think they could really use another scorer off the bench, especially with Lonzo being more of a playmaker. Drew Holiday's getting pretty old. Alexander Walker is not bad, but Tyrese is a really elite scorer. He's a little undersized, but he has that Lou Will-like potential. Really good off the dribble, especially around the basket with his floater, stuff like that. Really talented scorer in general.
Yeah, I went thinking the same way because Drew Holiday's a little older, but I feel like they go for someone a little more athletic and lanky. And I see the Pelicans taking Devin Vassell at 13, where he's a really good on-ball defender, a 3-and-D guy. I mean, he attacks the basket really well. I mean, I saw a lot of him last year. He was the best player by far in Florida State. So I feel like it's a good pick where they can bring him off the bench, or if they do decide to move out Drew Holiday's massive contract, they can slide him into the starting 2 spot.
Yeah, I actually have the Blazers, literally the next pick, taking Devin Vassell. Yeah. Trevor Ariza is getting old. Dame and McCollum are not the best defenders. They need a 3-and-D guy. They have so many bigs on that team. They just need more shooters and defenders on that team, so I've been taking Devin Vassell.
Yeah, I mean, for me at 14, I have the Blazers taking Aaron Nesmith. I know you had another team reaching on him earlier, but they do need shooting, and he can slide in at the 3 for him. I think they will re-sign Melo, keep him at the 4, and you don't re-sign Whiteside, so you bring back Nurkic at the 5. That's a pretty solid starting lineup with Dame and McCollum, and then you bring in Nesmith, and then you still have Melo. And I feel like Nesmith's just a really good fit because they do need another shooter on the team. I didn't see much of him, but from what I've heard, he's not a bad on-ball defender. He's decent on defense, so I feel like it's a good fit for the Blazers.
Yeah, that could be a good fit, but I have him going a lot higher. 15, Magic, have them taking RJ Hampton. I really like the idea of him and Fultz being both players that can bring the ball up off the court, but I'd have RJ Hampton obviously on the bench. Magic don't really know what direction they're going. The whole team is made up of non-shooters except their center. I mean, I guess Fournier, they've missed on so many draft picks with Mo Bamba. I don't know. It's a mess over there in Orlando, and yet they somehow make the playoffs.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I see the Magic going point guard because I feel like you don't know what you're going to get out of Fultz, and DJ Augustin's getting old, and I feel like they might try to trade Aaron Gordon. They might try to trade Aaron Gordon, so I see the Magic taking Killian Hayes and trying to run a little backcourt duo with Hayes and Fultz. I know you had Hayes off the board earlier, but I see Hayes falling, playing alongside Fultz. You keep Isaac. You still have Vucevic there, and Fournier, so I feel like it's a good fit if they do trade Gordon. Or if not, he'll just come off the bench, be a 6th man for him if they keep Gordon.
Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, at 16, this is the Timberwolves pick through the Covington trade. I have them taking Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels is a high upside guy. This guy coming into Washington last year, we thought would be a top 3 to top 5 pick with his length, his ability to shoot the ball. But with him, he just really has a pretty low motor, very, very fragile, but he is smooth. I think the Timberwolves take a gamble with him because they do have a pretty good young core and they just hope he pans out,
Yeah, I mean, I have the Timberwolves going for another scorer off the bench. I have the Timberwolves taking Cole Anthony at 16, where they have him coming off the bench with Malik Beasley, having a little guard duo coming off the bench because they do take Anthony Edwards at the 2nd pick and they have him and D'Lo starting. So I feel like you can bring in Cole Anthony and Malik Beasley off the bench and have 2 dynamic scorers coming off the bench. It's a good fit in Minnesota for him to where he can be the backup, and then if something happens, they can slide him in.
Yeah, that's not a bad fit, but I don't think Cole's falling all the way to 16. King. At 17, Boston taking Isaiah Stewart. Canner is getting old. His contract's going to be up next year.
No, he's got one more year. He's on 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's up after, it's 2 years.
Okay.
Million. Yeah, so I have them taking a center who can score in the low post. 10 years ago, he'd probably be a top 5 pick, but he's a little undersized. He's not really a stretch center, but he could really score inside, I think. I mean, Boston has talent all over the roster, but they could use another big, and I think he's the best big available.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the pick. I have the Celtics going a different way because they do need a backup point guard. Like Brad Wanamaker isn't really a point guard. Now I know they do run Marcus Smart there, but Marcus Smart is more of a two, so he can play off the ball. I have the Celtics taking Nico Mannion at 17 to where they get a good backup point guard who can attack the rim, dish the ball out to people coming off bench. Now we don't know who's going to be coming off the bench because they can go a lot of different ways with the starting lineup with Tatum and Brown and Hayward, and you don't know if they're going to start everyone, but you already have Smart coming off the bench, so I feel like it's a good fit for him to be the backup one in Boston, and it's a good play now position for him too to go try to win a chip off the rip. So
Yeah, they could draft another pasty white dude along with Gordon Hayward. Next pick, Dallas. I have them taking Josh Green. It's a little high for Josh Green, I guess, because he had somewhat of a disappointing year at Arizona last year, but Dallas really lacks athleticism in the backcourt with Luka, Brunson, Seth Curry, Tim Hardaway's not that athletic. They lack some athleticism, so I have them taking a slasher and Josh Green, who really needs to develop his jumper a little. Looks a little funky, but Mavs need some athleticism on that team, especially like the only guy that's like somewhat athletic is Porzingis and Dwight Powell.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the pick. For me, I have the Mavericks going point guard because I don't see Brunson's an undersized point guard, and I don't see DeLon Wright being the fit, and I see Seth Curry as being a nice piece coming off the bench, so I have the Mavericks taking Theo Maledon at 8. I feel like he's a good plug and play. He can play alongside Luka Doncic. He'll give the ball to Luka. He'll let Luka do his thing. He can get the ball to Porzingis. I feel like it's just a good fit. They go foreign to go along with Luka and Porzingis like they normally do in Dallas. I feel like
lazy argument, bro. Lazy argument, bro. Oh, because he's foreign. Bro, because he's foreign. He can play with Porzingis and Doncic because he's foreign. Oh, he's foreign.
No. I mean, it's a good fit. It's a good fit for Dallas. I mean, he's a solid passer. He'll give the ball to Luka.
They have like 4 point guards. They have 4 point guards, dude. Luka can play the point.
See, but I don't see their point guards as the fit. I mean, I like Seth Curry, but I don't see him as a starting caliber point guard. Same thing with Jalen Brunson. I think
he's going to start our point guard.
I don't think so.
Bro. All right, so 19, the Bucks have the pick from a trade. I have them taking Tyrell Terry out of Stanford. Can really shoot it. With Bledsoe being a basically black hole on offense half the time, they need someone to shoot the ball. So why not bring a point guard in that can really shoot it? He's wiry, can really score, but he was playing obviously in the Pac-12 with a lot of the point guards in the Pac-12 weren't great defenders, but nonetheless, Payne Pritchard, he's undersized. Payne Pritchard's gonna go in the second round. I really like Payne Pritchard. He could be like a Van Vliet type. He could be Van Vliet. That's why he's up. Dude, if you put him in the right system, he could be like a Van Vliet type. But anyways, the Bucks need shooting. They'll take Tyrell Terry.
Yeah, I see the Bucks having a needed shooting guard, and like you had him go 2 picks earlier. I have the Bucks taking Josh Green at 2, to where they do need a 2. Where like you're starting Wesley Matthews, he's old. I feel like you need a more athletic fit. He can play defense just like Wesley Matthews. I feel like Josh Green's a really good fit in Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's a rare good pick by you. All right, so at number 20, the Nets. I see them trading the pick because the Nets don't really need. I don't think they need anybody. Well, I've been taking Patrick Williams, a guy that could just.
I got him too.
Dude, finally we agree on something. I think that's our first agreement on a pick, bro. God damn, bro. All right, so yeah, they have a guy who could defend at the 4 spot. Again, in reality, I think they will trade this pick because they have a lot of good role players already, and they don't really need someone they need to develop. They're in win now mode. So, but I think for this mock draft, they could use a defender at the 4 spot, especially with DeAndre getting older. Josh Allen's a good rim protector, not the best on-ball defender, but you know.
Jared Allen, but yeah, I mean, I have Patrick Williams going at 22. I mean, I saw a lot of Florida State this year. I really like what they were doing down there. Patrick Williams and Devin Vassell were the 2 clear best players on the team, and I feel like the Nets do pick up Patrick Williams. I don't really see them trading the pick because I don't know what they could really get for the pick because they're already kind of maxed out on cap space. So I don't see the point in trading away the pick. So I just see them taking a player, maybe developing him in the G League. So, I mean, I feel like, or they could plug and play him off the bench. So I feel like Patrick Williams is a good fit there.
Yeah, I still think we'll trade the pick for like maybe some future pick or something, you know. 21, we got the Nuggets. I've been taking Kira Lewis out of Alabama. I think he probably, out of all the point guards in like like after lottery, I think he has the highest upside in my opinion. He's lightning quick. He just he doesn't have the best basketball IQ. Like, the Nuggets could use another, point guard off the bench, especially another scorer off the bench, especially when they traded, Malik Beasley. I think it's a solid fit with him in Denver.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the pick. I mean, for me at 21, I have the Nuggets taking Jaden McDaniels out of Washington. I know you had him going earlier, but I feel like the Nuggets do like taking the people with high upside, like they took Michael Porter Jr. a few years ago. So the Nuggets are willing to take the risk because they have that liberty, because they already have a lot of good role players. So they can develop him even though they are in win now mode. So I feel like it's a great fit for both the Nuggets and Jaden McDaniels to develop and possibly become another Michael Porter Jr. type, even though he won't be as good. But
yeah, I don't think he'll fall to 21 because I don't see another team passing on the upside. Alright, so at 22, 76ers, I've been picking Nico Mannion. The 76ers kind of need another point guard off the bench that can really run the offense and shoot a little bit, especially with Ben Simmons being handicapped at point guard in terms of shooting. With Nico Mannion, I see him filling the TJ McConnell role a couple years ago. Just a guy that can run the offense, can shoot a little bit. I think he's a good fit.
Yeah, I mean, I like the pick, but I just have him going earlier. For me, I see the 76ers trying to fill the Al Horford void because Al Horford's really bad right now. So I have the 76ers taking Jalen Smith at 22, someone who I think is really underrated in this draft class. He has high upside. I mean, he played really well at Maryland this year. I feel like it's a good fit for them because I feel like they do try to dump Al Horford's contract somewhere because he's really underperformed and he has a massive contract.
Nobody's taking Al Horford's contract, dude. He's horrible, bro.
Oh, I know, but they'll try everything to dump it. But I feel like they do take a replacement for him.
That might be the worst contract in the NBA, dude.
If they attach enough draft picks to it, someone will be stupid enough to take it.
So you think they'll probably trade the 22nd pick, huh?
No, because I think they take Jalen Smith to replace Al Horford.
Jalen Smith can't play now though. Like Sixers are in win now mode, dude. They need to go back where they have Tobias Harris at the 4 because with Embiid he clogs the hell out of the lane. They can't have another big inside.
He can stretch the floor though. So can Embiid though.
Yeah, but that's not, dude. The 76ers are built all wrong, dude. Ellen Brand screwed everything up.
I think they trade Ben Simmons eventually, but that's just me.
I think they trade Embiid. Ben Simmons is a star in the league, dude. He's a
stars.
Ben Simmons has way higher upside. Ben Simmons can literally be a top 5 NBA player at some point in his career. Because with his skill set, dude, oh my, like 6'10", he's literally like a poor man's Giannis.
No, he's like a poor man's Magic.
No, but dude, Ben Simmons is way more athletic than Magic, though, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so at 23, the Heat, I think they take Theo Maledon. They need another point guard. Roderick is getting older, so they're gonna need another point guard off the bench. The Heat, they don't have many needs. Like, what are you talking about? Dude, they have the best depth in the NBA.
That's biased.
You know how, dude, the roster is so deep. They got shooters everywhere. Pat Riley is the greatest. He's the best free agent signer of all time. He signed Duncan Robinson, undrafted. Kendrick
This
Nunn.
one you know he a Heat fan, bro. Come on, bro.
Dog, let's not act like you fan of like 10 different teams in 10 different cities, bro.
I'm not.
Dude, Kansas, you got Baltimore Ravens, that's another city. You have Boston Celtics, that's another still city. You got Chelsea, which is a whole nother country.
Bro, you think I'm like an American soccer team?
Yeah, LA Galaxy, bro. And you got the Yankees. That's like 5 different cities in 5 different states, bro. Like, dude, at least have some consistency, man.
For me at 23, I have the Heat taking Sadiq Bey. I feel like it's a good fit off the bench. Get another 3-and-D guy off the bench. You are right, the Heat are deep, but they're not as deep as you say they are. And Pat Riley got lucky with some of his undrafted signings.
Skill. Pat Riley's the GOAT. Just maybe behind Jerry West. Those are the only 2 in terms of talent evaluators in history. Those 2 are like, no. As a talent evaluator, no.
Look at Tatum, look at Brown, look at Smart. He's drafted
but here's the thing. Before the big 3,
he drafted a winner on your squad now.
Okay, who cares? But like before the big 3, the Celtics were a horrible team for like 8 years with Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker.
He drafted Pierce.
Yeah, that's one good pick. Like Pat Riley has sustained greatness, dude. Danny Ainge is not even in the category.
He drafted Hassan Whiteside.
No, first of all, he signed Hassan Whiteside. He drafted D Wade. Are you kidding me? And let's not act like he basically built the teams in LA and in New York before.
Okay, so you said one signing, just like I said, just like I did. You mentioned one draft pick like I have 12 years.
LeBron, Chris.
That's a signing.
Bosh,
that's a signing. Those are 2 signings. Those aren't draft picks.
Tyler Hero is not a good pick.
That's a solid pick. Okay, but Jason Tatum's a better pick than Tyler Hero.
The Heat are never bad enough where they're picking in the top 3, dude. Okay,
the Celtics weren't. They acquired draft picks.
Okay, but like still, we've never had top 3 picks, so you can't compare that. Of course, the Celtics gonna have a better track record because they picked the top 3 every year. Of course, we weren't
that bad. We were acquiring better draft picks. We were never horrendously bad.
I know they were the Nets pick. That was a good trade, but think about this. Isn't it easier to get talent in the top 3 than at 14, bro? So you can't compare that. I think in terms of value, Tyler Hero at 14 is better than Tatum. No, I mean Tyler Hero was 13 is better value than Tatum at 3. Because either way, Tatum was going to be a top 4 pick anyway.
Okay, but look at it this way: the Celtics traded down from 1, got more assets from the Sixers, and still got Tatum at 3.
Yeah, because they didn't need a point guard. Of course, I would have.
No, Tatum was always their guy. They never wanted Fultz.
Yeah, because they didn't need a point guard. Of course, they would trade down. The Sixers wanted Fultz. Of course, dude. Anybody in their minds would make that trade, dude. They had Isaiah Thomas already. But anyways, whatever. This dude doesn't know basketball, but all right. So at number 24, the Jazz. I've been taking Vernon Carey. Vernon Carey, if he actually played defense, would go in the lottery, but he's one of the worst defenders in the draft. With that, I'm just thinking that Rudy Gobert is not the best offense player. Vernon Carey is really good in the post, can stretch the floor a little. It just brings some scoring off the bench in the front court. That's what I was just thinking of with that pick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the pick. For me at 24, I have Kira Lewis Jr. going to the Jazz because they need another point guard because Mike Conley isn't what they thought he was going to be. And I mean, Moutier's okay, but he's nothing special. So I see the Jazz taking Kira Lewis Jr.
Yeah, not a bad pick. Okay, so 25 OKC. I've been taking Jalen Smith. They have a bunch of good guards already. They could use another big to go along with guys like Steven Adams. Jalen Smith, yeah, like you said before, he's pretty underrated. Could have came out last year and probably been a first round pick too. But besides that point, it's a great value pick in terms of this draft. I think it's a good value at 25.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the pick. For me, at 25, I have the Thunder taking Robert Woodard out of Mississippi State because I feel like they need someone to fill a small forward void with Roberson always being hurt, and I feel like Gallinari does leave in the offseason. I don't know where to, but I feel like he does leave. So they need to fill that void. So I see the Thunder trying to fill that void and taking Robert Woodard.
Yeah, not a bad pick. At 26, Boston. At this point, when you look at Boston's roster, they do have almost like too many players. So I do have them taking a project where they could just throw in the G League, which is the foreign dude, Alaska blah 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 blah. I can't say his name. He's 7 foot, foreign. It's just a project they could chuck in the G League because they already have too many like guys on the roster that like need minutes and stuff like that. I think Romeo Langford actually played mostly in the G League last year as well, even though he was a lottery pick. So
yeah, I mean, I see it the same way. I mean, I have the Celtics taking Jordan Nwora at 26, where they can throw him in the G League, and if they do need to, they can throw him at the end of the bench if they need a 3-point shooter. So I mean, I feel like the Celtics can't have the liberty of reaching and taking Jordan Nwora at 26.
Not bad. I have Nwora falling out the first round, but that's besides the point.
He could go either way.
Yeah. At 27, the Knicks, I've been taking Demarius Ramsey out of Texas Tech, can really score it. Knicks, they could just get another score off the bench. With the Knicks, they are in a weird position because none of their young talent with RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson, none of them are elite talents yet. They think they could get a free agent signing, which makes no sense. They're not going to get nobody with that supporting cast. I don't know what the Knicks are going to do. I just have them taking the best player available at this point.
Yeah, I mean, for me at 27, I have the Knicks taking Isaiah Stewart. I know you had him going earlier, but I feel like the Knicks do take one of the best available players, and they do end up taking Isaiah Stewart, even though they do already have Mitchell Robinson. But, I mean, the Knicks kind of need anything and everything, so they do just go best available, and they take Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, so at 28, the Raptors, I've been taking Zeke Naji, who had a really good season at Arizona, considering that there was no way he was getting drafted before coming in the season. Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka are getting old. They could use another young big man to go along with like guys like Chris Boucher. They could really develop him because he does have pretty good. He's 7 foot long, lanky. Might take him a while to develop, but Nick Nurse is one of the best coaches in the NBA. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the pick. I have the Raptors going center as well. I have them taking Vernon Carey at 28, where, like the same thing you said, Gasol and Ibaka are getting old, and I feel like Vernon Carey can come off the bench. I feel like once they both move on, I feel like they slide Boucher into the starting line because he's way better on defense, and they don't necessarily need scores because they have scores at other positions. And I feel like they do just take Vernon Carey and develop him for a few years, and then he slides into that backup center role.
not bad. 29, the Lakers have them taking the 24-year-old high school senior, Cassius Stanley. I think he's the only 30-year-old freshman to enter the draft. It's like a 5-year reclass out here. But the Lakers could use another athletic wing with guys like KCP, Avery Bradley. Their contracts are going to be up. They could use Cassius Stanley, who actually shot pretty well from the 3 last season.
Yeah.
Hopefully can develop to a athletic 3-and-D. But even though Cassius Stanley is pretty old for a freshman, athleticism will always be needed in the NBA, and I think they could use a guy like him who can also has really defensive potential with his athleticism.
Yeah, I don't mind the pick. I have him falling into the second round, but I don't mind the pick. And me at 29, I have the Lakers taking another Duke Blue Devil. I feel like he is really underrated in the draft. He had a really good season at Duke last year. I have the Lakers taking Trey Jones at 29 because Rondo is getting old. His contract's up soon. Caruso's more of a shooting guard. And then they don't really have a set point guard, so I feel like they can take Trey Jones, develop him for a little bit, and then he can slide in there, possibly.
Trey Jones, bro, he literally, before March Madness of last season, he was in consideration of being a lottery pick in last year's draft, which the last year's draft was loaded, where like the guys like Cam Reddish could have went 1 this year, like in terms of how stacked draft class was last year. But Trey Jones kind of screwed himself over this year, especially with his inability to shoot, really.
No, he didn't. His shooting improved a lot from last year.
Yeah, but his draft stock.
No, it didn't. He was going to go in the second round last year. That's why he came back.
But before March Madness, before they realized how awful of a shooter he was going to be a lottery pick.
I don't know. I have the Lakers going point guard, taking him at 29.
With the last pick, Boston. Again, Boston has 3 picks in the first one. I do think they'll trade a couple of them. There's no way they're going to waste 3 draft picks, especially with certain needs. I think they're going to need a veteran big man next year. I've been taking Daniel Otoru out of Minnesota, just another big that can play defense. Yeah, it's crazy that I've been taking 3 bigs, but they don't need any more wing talents. Like,
nope.
Yeah, they don't need any more. So I just have them taking straight bigs, and hopefully they knock one out the park and they actually develop in a good centerpiece. So
see, I went the same direction, but for me, this is my personal pick. I would love to see this happen. I highly doubt it.
This is about to be so biased.
But
I know what you're about to say,
but
bro.
at 30, I have the Boston Celtics taking one of the best big men in college basketball this year. They take Udoka Azubuike at number 30. Throw him in the G League with Taco Fall, and they bring them both out, and it's going to be amazing. The Celtics take Udoka Azubuike at 30. I know it's probably not likely, but I really hope it happens. If it happens, I'll be jumping up and down.
This dude biased as hell, bro.
I'll go out and get a Udoka Azubuike Celtics jersey. If it happens, I'll go get a Azubuike Celtics jersey.
You damn well know you can't buy one of those. You gotta custom make one of those, bro.
I'll get his G League jersey. I'll get his G League jersey. I don't care.
You gotta get dude, wasn't there an Azubuike that played on the Warriors years ago, like 10 years ago? You gotta pick up that Azubuike jersey, bro. You ain't finding no Azubuike jersey, bro.
I know it's probably not likely, but I really does hope it happens. I mean, Alex always bags on him. I know he can't shoot, but he has been working on it. His shot has improved a lot.
30% from the free throw line?
43 actually, but it has improved a lot from what it was. He still is a horrendous shooter, but he does play really good defense, and he runs up and down the floor. He's a monster in the post. I know the game is moving away from the post, but I feel like he is very underrated. He shoots over 70% because most of his shots are either post hooks or dunks. So I feel like he is very undervalued. Now, I know he's not a traditional center in the NBA right now, but I feel like he is very undervalued, and the Celtics need to pick Udoka Azubuike up to 30.
No, bro. See, to wrap this up, you guys can clearly tell Cody will never be a GM, and I will eventually be I will follow Pat Riley in his footsteps and be the next general manager.
No, you won't, bro. You big captain. You got James Wiseman falling to 11, bro.
Okay, so apparently teams in the lottery are gonna take Usain Bolt next year because apparently they're just taking straight track and field players, bro. Let's take Usain Bolt in the first round. I mean, he can run, he can dunk. I mean, Usain Bolt is literally just a smaller, faster Wiseman, if we're being honest.
Bro, you need to shut up, bro.
I'm speaking straight facts. And again, we're gonna do another, guys, just to let you guys know, we're probably gonna do an updated mock draft right before the lottery, like when the lottery's done, where we know every pick. By then, that'll probably be like October-ish. So we'll drop our 2.0 mock draft when that comes out. But anyways, this was probably the most controversial mock draft I've ever seen because I think we've only agreed on one pick, 2 picks.
No, but we had a lot of picks where it was like one pick off in like the team. So I don't think it was too bad. It was just your top 11 were horrendous. I don't know what you were thinking.
Dude, you think Lamelo Ball is this all-world talent, yet you have him falling to 4. That makes no sense.
Because teams are picking off a need. Like I said, the Timberwolves could go either way with Lamelo or Anthony Edwards, but I think they take Anthony Edwards. So you could have Lamelo at 2 and switch him with Anthony Edwards at 4. But I feel like the Timberwolves do take Anthony Edwards and the Hawks take Lamelo, and I feel like the Hawks is a better fit for Lamelo playing alongside Trae Young and Clint Capella.
Well, I mean, I guess Michael Jordan actually might take first overall. Like, maybe you're right about that because Michael Jordan's literally the GOAT of being a bad GM because this dude be missing every year, man. This dude is the GOAT of bad GMs, man. God damn.
So that's it for today's podcast, Bums. Make sure you guys leave a rating or a comment on the pod and spread the word. Also, make sure you follow us on IG, which is left in the description. See y'all bums next episode.